A lovely morning, afternoon, and evening to everybody. Depends on where you're watching from. Welcome to our weekly analysis, where we talk about things that happen in the market, what we expected of the market the previous week, and what actually happened in the market. Before we move ahead, I would like to say a big shout out to our new subscribers. You guys are welcome to the family. And also, Eid Mubarak to our Muslim brothers and Islam and brothers and sisters in Islam. May the Eid bring us every good in all ramification. So I don't want it to be lengthy because I'm also a Muslim myself. So I will try and make sure it's as short as quick as I can. So as of last week, we talked about DXY, which is the dollar index. Dollar index, our baseline, is what I build every aspect of my trade on. So as of last week, I said I was interested in dollar index giving us 105.000 and a possible movement into 105.500. 10500 and 105,000 was as my interest last week. Okay, this is as of last week. I pointed at 105,000 and movement into 105.500. So you can see that level has been delivered here. That level has been delivered here. So going forward, as for dollar index, I'll be watching 106,000. The coming week, I'll be expecting 106.000. And mind you, last week I said 104.522 should serve as a support. 104.522 should serve as support because I was pointing at a BC last week here. I was pointing at this BC that I expect this gap to be filled. So that gap was filled. That was why I said this gap here, there's a BC around that area. That was why I said 104.522 should serve as a support. And you can see the market found support around that 104.522. No daily candle was able to close below 104.522. Okay, I'll be watching 106,000. So the coming week, okay, the low hanging fruits. Let me use this. Let me change this coordinates. It has served what I wanted. So let me take it somewhere else. So 106,000 will be my low hanging fruits here. Then we see possible movement into 106.600 the coming week. If we can go that far, 106.600. But the low hanging fruit I'm watching, I'll personally be watching 106,000. But I also have interest in 106.600 before the end of the week. So let's go to our Euro USD. On Euro USD last week, I said I expected 1.08500 to serve as what? As a resistance. 1.08500 should serve as a resistance. So this is 1.08500. It should serve as a resistance because we have a kind of CB here. We have a sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. So, and I called 1.07528 to be the lowest hanging fruit. 1.07528. You can see it was delivered beautifully even before we see a retracement back into our resistance, which was 1.08500. And you can see 1.08500, there was no candle that closes, no daily candle that closes above 1.08500. So you can't call that a coincidence. It has nothing to do about guessing. We are not guessing the market here. When we see it. When we mention, it comes to fruition. So the coming week, I'll be expecting this movement. Let me make use of this. I'll be expecting the low of this candle. The long term, let me make use of the first term for 1.06500 on 1.06500 on Euro USD. Then possible movement to 1.06000. But 1.06500 as my first interest. Let me 1.06500. So that is the low hanging fruit, 1.06500. Then possible movement into 1.06000, 1.06000, 1.06500. So let's not waste our time. Then we go to GBP USD. Remember, everything we've been saying, everything I've been saying, everything has been coming to fruition. Everything I mentioned last week, even before it happens. So, as of last week, on GBP USD, I expected 1.27500 to serve as a resistance. I expected it to serve as a resistance. And then we should see a movement into 1.2700, 1.26500. I have 1.26500, yes, on my watch. 1.27 thousand was the first objective. Then 1.26500. And I think 1.26500 has been delivered. Then I'll be watching 1.26000 the coming week. I have 1.26000 on my journal and 1.26807 because I expected this CB and this BC, sorry, this BC I marked in yellow to be attacked. So last week I was interested in 1.2700. 1.2700 has been delivered. 1.26500 has been delivered. So I'll be watching 1.26,000 and possible movement to 1.26807. That will be around that will be inside this yellow box here. So let me bring out the coordinates. I normally need this. Let me convert it to, okay, let's say 1.2650. 1.26500 was short of some pips. 1.26500, so 1.26500. So that will go back on my reader. 1.26500, then 1.26,000 will be my target for the coming week. I will be interested in 1.26500, 1.26,000, and movement into 1.2500, 1.25,000. So I'll be interested in 1.26,500, 1.26,000, 1.25,500 before going to 1.2500. So let me duplicate this. So I want it to be okay. 1.26,000. Sorry, I have to journal. 1.26,000. So I do journal my trade myself. I do have things written down. So for me to have better understanding of what I'm expecting. So that will be that on. So we'll be interested in these two levels: 1.26500, 1.26,000, then 1.25500. So let's go to our Nasdaq. I said Nasdaq. Last week on Nasdaq, I was interested in Nasdaq making another all-time high. I said there will be no reason for me to call the market short if it is going higher. So I expected the market to deliver 19,200. 19,200 has been delivered. As of last week, I was interested in 19,200 to be my low hanging fruit, but I was having it at the back of my mind that I need to see it get to 20,000. So I did Nasdaq to give us a movement into 20,000, because we have another BC here. So I'll be expecting this BC to serve as a what? As a support. So let me take this to 20,000. So 20,000 will be my next watch. on what? On Nasdaq. So let me see if I could clone this. So this is another BC. We have another BC there. We have another BC on what? On the daily time frame. So I'll be expecting 1.21. I'm sorry, I'll be expecting 19,200 to serve as a support to the market. I think to serve as a support to the price. Sorry. Oh, I want to make it. I need it to be a little bit accurate, if not completely accurate. So that is my BC. That will what I'll be watching. I'll be watching that area to serve as a kind of support. At least the market shouldn't go beyond the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap here, which we call BC. So that area should serve as a support to the market to send it into what? Into 20,000. Then let's go to our Dow futures. On Dow futures last week, I was interested in 39,200 and 39,500. I was interested in 29,500 and 39,200 and 39,500. So 39,200 was short of some pips. 39,200. This is 39,200. So the coming week, I think I will stick to that bias, because I think was it out two weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago that I was interested in 38,470. But the past week I was interested in 39,200. I was interested in 39,200. So on the 26th of May, that was when I was interested in 38,470. So I was interested in 38,470. But the market has revisited 38,470. And I expect the market to give us at least movement into 39,200. So I'll be sticking to that bias of getting back towards 39,200, and I expect to see 38,470 to still serve as a support level to the price. So we have this, we have 38,470 to serve as a support to send us into 39,200. But the lowest hanging fruit will be 38,800. 38,800, yes, 38,800. That will be lowest hanging fruit. But before the week runs out, I'm interested in 39,200. Okay, let me do it this way. Let me bring out 39,200, because it was short of some pips in the first place. So 39,200. So you can see the movement on Wednesday. This was the candle on Wednesday. The high comes in at 39,139.08. So that was a few pips short of my initial target, which was 39,200. So I expected the market to revisit that level, and 38.470 should remain a support the coming week. Is that a coincidence? No. Then we go to S&P 500. On S&P 500, last week I was interested in 5400. I think 5400 and 5500. I was interested in 5400 and 5500. 5400 and 5500. That was last week, because last 2 weeks I was interested in 5300. So last week I was interested in 5400 and 5500. So 5400 has been delivered, 5400 has been traded to. We have 5400 taken. So I'll be interested in 5500. Let me change this to 5500. So that will be my next target. 15500 will be my next view. I'm interested in that level the coming week. Also, I'll be expecting the area bit around 5400 to serve as a kind of support, because we have a void here. I have a void here. Okay, there's a void here. Oh, this is a liquidity void. It's kind of a liquidity void. Liquidity void simply means there was no trading activities around that area at all. You can see it's like it's an actual gap. This is a gap. So the distance between the high of this candle here and the low of that candle, there was no passing through of candle here. That was why it was named a liquidity void. Is an actual gap. So I expected the price to revisit that area and serve as a kind of support. So 5400, around 5400 should serve as a support for S&P 500. 54400 to serve as a support. Then we look for 5500. We look for 5500. So I'm trying to be fast because we'll be going for it very soon. So let's quickly run on gold. On gold, last week I was interested in 2277 and 2200. Is that a coincidence? Let's see. Is there a coincidence? Is there a coincidence? So, as of last week, my digits on 22,700 was not met. It was not met, and that does not mean it will not come to fruition. So on gold, I stick to that bias of attacking 22,77,000. So I'll be sticking to this digits here. I'll be sticking to this 22,77,000. So that will be what I'll be watching for the coming week, because there's a CB here. There's a fair value gap here in form of a CB. So I have a CB here. So I see how let's see how the market reacts to that area. So I expect this area to serve as a what? As a resistance. So I'm expecting a resistance around the CB that will take us back into 22,700 the coming week. So as for me, I stay with the bias. If I should see a trade, I will engage. If there is no trade, I cross my hands on it. So at this junction, I would like to close for today's video. Thank you guys for being part of the family. Thank you for coming this far with us, and we really appreciate every one of you guys for being part of us. Everything in this video is for educational purpose. Is something I take personal, which I act on. That does not mean you should act on it, because I am not a licensed financial advisor. I'm not even a financial advisor. I'm only toggling through my own experience and my own view about the market. That does not mean you have to act on it. If you act on it, take absolute responsible for your actions. So I'm only saying what I think of the market from practice, from studies. I'll watch the market. So thank you guys. Thank you for being part of the family. Thank you for coming this far. You guys are welcome. We really love you. And once again, Eid Mubarak to our Muslim brothers and sisters in Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Stay safe. Bye for now.